UGLY, we are still waiting on an alibi from Erika Kirk. It's still ugly out here. It's still ugly. She still has not delivered an alibi for Fort Huachuca. And instead, we are continuing to receive video after video of her strange reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Today, I want to do a couple of things. Number one, I know you guys have already seen the video of her talking about TPUSA 2.0, but I want to just show it for those of you who may not have seen it. And then I want to talk about what we've seen TPUSA 2.0 to actually be. What has it actually become? Because we saw TPUSA 2.0 at AmFest. And to me, AmFest was a disaster. Having people on stage fighting with each other, making snarky remarks was not what Charlie was about. But we have seen the disaster that has come and that is coming to TPUSA as a result of Erika Kirk's leadership, as a result of her, the company's change in direction. So let's first listen to Erika and watch Erika Kirk's conversation with her employees just 5 days after her death, stating that this is TPUSA 2.0. And she says specifically, you all, it doesn't mean that your things that you're working on are they don't matter, but we're going in a different direction. So she is explicitly saying the things that Charlie was working on, they don't matter. So she's, I don't want to say that they don't matter. She's saying that they don't matter. So what that tells me is that they are completely swooping in and making adjustments that have nothing to do with what Charlie was working on before. And that is scary. So I want you guys to listen to this for yourselves so you can hear her say, basically, you know, you need to switch up what we're doing because we're not doing what Charlie had you doing prior to his death. Okay. So Candace is going to intro this and then we're going to get going.
I'm going to let this play out for 5 minutes straight, and there is no context needed other than this is 5.5 days after her husband was publicly assassinated. And yes, in the background, that is Terrell Farnsworth, the guy who took down the cameras. Yeah, but we are going to see some grief. So I'm going to allow you guys to watch this for 5 minutes.
Had private conversations with him. I want you all to hold on to those. And I want you all to remember those so deeply. I want you to journal about them. I want you to be able to tell your kids about them. I want you to put those in your heart as why you're still here with the Turning Point USA family, because that's what we want. And like I said to our small group after whatever day that was that I did the thing on TV, how many days are so long, Good Friday. I told the team, I said, Turning Point USA will continue like my husband always wanted, and it'll be bigger than ever. And we're going to honor him by doing that. We're going to stay humble. We're going to work hard because that's what he would want. And we're going to just make it grow. And we're going to keep our eyes fixed on heaven.
And she's being honest. She says, we're here to make it grow. And we're seeing that. She actually doesn't care that if they're growing, whether they're growing in the mission or if they're growing in just donations. She's not lying to you guys here. She's saying, we're going to make it grow. Our goal is to make it bigger than ever financially. And that's what she's done. They've gotten $250 million since his death. They have done that exactly. Now, we read this in retrospect. I'm sure the employees read this as and heard this as, we're going to continue doing what Charlie wanted us to do, meaning continue sharing the gospel, continue standing for truth, not aligning with news stations that are opposed to TPUSA and pro the unaliving of children. No, she told us what she wants. And she said, I want TPUSA to grow bigger than ever. And what she left out is that I don't really care how it gets done.
And, like even Stacy said, he's gonna find ways to speak to us, and he's going to speak to you in different ways. Every person's going to be different, but you'll get little moments where you're like, okay, Charlie, I see you. It might be here on campus. It might be in the quiet moments of the night, but he's here and he's more alive than ever. And he is, he's going to guide us. And we just have to remain humble. But again, what I told the team was, I will fight like hell to make sure that all of you have a job here. I don't want anyone to think the job's in jeopardy because your family.
Okay. So people are saying, why did Erika cry at this point? I do believe that, mind you, she wasn't crying when she talked about him being assassinated. She was crying about this specific part, this particular part. I think part of this is because oftentimes when there's a change in CEO, there's a change in company leadership, they do fire people. That's just what happens. And this shows Erika's naivete when it comes to leadership and being a CEO, because this is not something that you should ever say whenever you're taking over a new company, because it is very likely and it's very normal that when there is a new CEO, when there is a new leadership, that you do fire people, you do change, you do switch people around. So for her to say this is just pure ignorance, just not actually knowing how the real world works. Um, and as Candace pointed out, she's been running around with Stacy Sheridan, behind the scenes, acting as CEO. This is day 5 after Charlie's death, right? Because it was the 9th. Yes, this is day 5. And she's saying to these people, you're never going to lose your job. That is an ignorant statement to make. Again, nobody trained her to be a CEO. She doesn't, if what she's saying is true, meaning she's been at home, she takes care of her babies, that's all she cares about, then she 100% does not have the mental, emotional, educational aptitude to be a CEO. You never take over a company and tell people that they're not going to be fired unless you mean it. She then proceeded to fire 40 people. So to me, this just shows Erika's incompetence.
If you choose to leave, that's different. I never will. And I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you. And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together.
So I wonder too, when she says this, because I haven't heard anybody talk about this from this perspective, I wonder too if she knows that people are losing or do not have faith in her, and if they're going to be able to keep up this level of momentum, because Charlie Kirk, TPUSA was growing with Charlie. And it is a very rational and reasonable thought to go, okay, wait a minute, Charlie's not running the show anymore. Are we going to be able to maintain this level of income, maintain this level of donations without Charlie? And so it is very possible that she's saying, I'm not going to let you guys down in this way. I know you guys are feeling a little nervous, which is also very strange because it seems a little disjointed that she strings this all together. It's like there must have been some chatter around her ability to run this company, and that's why she said, I promise we'll never get to a point where that's occurring, which only proves Candace Owens' point that people were not satisfied. They were dissatisfied with her job as CEO.
The best of care. Obviously, circumstances, there's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't foresee in the future. But for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo. And I think that's the best thing to do. And everything else we can worry about later. But I just want to let you know that you guys are all very loved. I'm very proud of you. And Charlie would be, I think Charlie's just, I'm trying not to say that he's obviously celebrating in heaven amongst so many things, but he's so proud of all of you. And he's so proud of all of you for keeping this mission alive. And he knows that you can do it. That's why you're hired. And he knows that you will be able to carry the torch. And he knows that you're going to do a great job. And you're going to be able to, even though days are going to be tough, honestly, the nights are the hardest. Mornings are pretty raw too. But just what I've noticed these past several days is if I didn't have the family, the Turning Point USA family with me, all of you, I would be a disaster. I mean, I would be in fetal position 24/7. But the fact that we have a continued mission to look forward to, and we have our family, it's everything. And some of you, this is your chosen doom. And just rely and lean on each other. That's huge. Leaning on each other is huge because all of you were together prior to this and we'll be together after this. And we everything, and I told Justin this, it's going to be something where everything before September 10th, any email you were working on, any project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. It's just things have changed.
Boom. Things have changed. It's not that they're irrelevant. It's not, no, she's telling you things have changed. So let's talk about the things that have changed. But before I get into that, I want to talk about this idea of calling your workplace a family. This was something that became popular in the early 2000s, so I live in California, and in Southern California, I guess in Northern California too, but in Southern California, there are many, many large corporations. And one of the things that I've noticed is they started to use this language of family around your corporate world. They also did this in the teaching world, which was very weird. And the reason why this is so toxic is because it requires you to do two things. If someone is your family, it normalizes familial dynamics, such as fighting and making up, hurting each other and making up. Because those are part of family dynamics, right? It normalizes things such as spending inordinate amounts of time with these people. It normalizes things such as loyalty in a way that you should not be loyal to your job. And I noticed that Erika used this word family and she's been using it a lot. But I went back, you guys, and I watched Stacy Sheridan's post, her speech at Charlie Kirk's funeral or his memorial. And I listened to her. And I want to share with you guys this because she started this talk of the word family at the memorial. Let me just put this on the screen really quickly so you guys can see this and listen to the way that she spoke. I said, you know what, I'm going to go back and I think I want to do a review of every single speech at Charlie's memorial in retrospect. But let me share with you guys her speech.
My name is Stacy Sheridan. 8 years ago, I met Charlie in a crowded ballroom in West Palm Beach at a David Horowitz Freedom Center event. We spoke briefly, we exchanged cards, and I thought nothing of it. What ultimately made me want to join Charlie's cause and Charlie's team because he began a quest to hire me after meeting me. I was reluctant at first, but it was his naive audaciousness to change the world.
This is, like, in retrospect, you guys, this is actually so demeaning in a way. I didn't really want it at first. He chased me down. I just, again, in retrospect, I'm watching this and going, these people were lying to our faces and demonstrating their sinister and debased minds from the get-go. She says, oh, I didn't really want the job. And it's funny because Candace Owens mentioned that she didn't really want Charlie to hire Stacy Sheridan. She didn't like that. Oh, he chased me down. He was naive. And I get what she's trying to do, but this sort of like, and she goes, I'm going to talk about him as my little brother and not as a boss. And it just reeks of arrogance and
that ultimately sold me. It was the best decision I've ever made, and I've never looked back. Yes, technically, Charlie was my boss, but it really never felt that way. Far more than my boss, I felt like he was my little brother. So the guys that went before me spoke about him as a boss and a leader. I'm going to speak about him from my heart as a family member.
Here we go. So she already starts this talk about family. We're a family at TPUSA. And I'll keep it plain so you guys can hear more of it.
In 2022, my husband Mike became sick with cancer. 2 years later, that cancer took his life. Throughout those 2 years, Charlie called me consistently to ask how he could help us. At one point, he had critical medication and an oxygen machine sent to my doorstep without my knowledge. I still to this day have no idea how he made that happen. But that was Charlie. He did the right thing. There was no limit to how far he'd go to help a friend. He wasn't looking for publicity or credit. He did it because that's what a leader does. That's what a friend does. And that's what a Christian is supposed to do. Sometimes I would express guilt to Charlie that I couldn't do my job at 100%. Charlie's response every single time was family first. When Mike ultimately passed away, Charlie and the entire team were there for us yet again. They helped my daughter Grace through the unbearable tragedy of losing her father on her 9th birthday. But Charlie's help didn't stop there. This January, I lost my home in the Pacific Palisades fire. Charlie's response was very clear and very direct. This is a sign. You and Grace belong in Arizona now.
And you know what's crazy to me is how giving and sacrificial Charlie was. And his widow is out here telling people that they need to take time off, that paid time to grieve him. This demonstrates just so how opposite and far apart he and Erika are in their thought process. Charlie would not have made, he is rolling over in his grave at the fact that Erika's like, yeah, take paid time off if you want to take time off to grieve my husband, the leader of this company. Yeah, take paid time. I'm not giving you free time. You're going to work. You better work. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk is pulling all the strings that he has in the White House to get this lady's husband medication that's probably very expensive and an oxygen tank that's very expensive. Charlie paid for millions. You guys, these cancer medications are like thousands of dollars per pill. And Charlie said, I'll pay for it. And his wife is out here talking about, you guys need to take paid time off if you want to grieve because we already gave you therapy dogs. Yeah, couldn't be me.
Within a few months, we moved here, and Charlie and Erika welcomed us into their family. While enduring our various tragedies, my daughter Grace would ask me at least once a day, why would God do this to us, Mom? My honest and only answer was, someday we will look at each other and instantly know why all of this had to happen. And it will be for something far greater than we can ever imagine. In my first conversation with Grace after Charlie's death, Grace said to me through tears over the phone, Mom, this is the answer to my question. This is our why. Now we can be there for Erika and Gigi and Mac, the way they were there for us. Looking back today, it's so clear to me that Grace was right. I know for certain that my late husband, Mike, Charlie, and God were guiding us here for this very moment in time. It was always written. Erika, Grace and I will support you and your babies the way you and Charlie were there for us in our darkest days. Charlie, we will miss your words of wisdom, your high-pitched laugh, it was kind of awkward, and the way your voice would always soften when you spoke to Erika and your children. And I promise, we're gonna make TPUSA so big that it reaches you in heaven.
And that's all they care about. That is all they care about. We just want it to be so big. And they're losing sight of the mission. They're losing sight of what made TPUSA so big. It wasn't money. Money didn't intentionally make TPUSA so big. You know what made TPUSA so big? Charlie's honesty, his ability to have a conversation with someone that didn't agree with him, his ability to be relatable. Charlie was very awkward. He was very shy. I told you guys, I think he was a little autistic, and people love that about him. They did not want a fake person who lied about their past and talk about the things and pretended that they never made a mistake in their life. They didn't want that. They didn't want this. But you see how she's weaving that family chat in there, family. And it's already starting at the memorial. Now let's go back into this call and let's finish up this call with Erika and talk more about what TPUSA 2.0 has become.
Obviously. And the mission has gotten deeper and the mission will grow deeper. But like, I just want all of you to know, We will be wise stewards. We will be vigilant. We will be humble. And I just want you to know that, again, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And we're going to make sure that we honor my husband so well that this whole world knows what his vision was and will be. And it's just, I feel so blessed.
All of this smiling and laughter and going on, it's extremely uncomfortable.
And honored.
Blessed and honored. That is crazy work as adjectives. I don't know. That's crazy work. That is like, I couldn't, blessed and honored to be the CEO and to be telling you guys that you're a family. And I want you to see this because we've spoken about this, the Moonies cult, and these people that are leaving are like, it was just like a cult. Like basically she's saying this, she's calling you a family. She promises them. That's why it's important. You have to hold this to the fire. You're not the CEO. You promise these kids that if they are going to work harder, you're in this family, your jobs are safe. Actually, that's what makes her cry. Saying your jobs are, that's when she breaks, right? When she says, it's so important that your jobs are good. Like I feel emotionally attached to you guys working for me.
And this is why people do not trust her. This is why her own employees do not trust her. Because if you get on a phone call 5 days after your Charlie's death and behind tears start weeping and telling us that you promise that you will never give up our jobs, and then a month later you go whip out 40 pink slips, you're not trustworthy. You are creating, and this is part of the cult mentality, you guys, is you create an air of fear. And I don't know if this is Erika's doing, Stacy Sheridan's doing, the powers that be's are doing, but they are firing people left and right to send a message. Don't you go against the queen. That is the message that they're sending. Do I believe for 1 second that Charlie would do that? Absolutely not. I do not believe for 1 second that this is how Charlie would behave. But when Erika, she's destroying her own reputation from the inside of the company out. When you get on camera and say, I promise you, I will not take away your job, and then you proceed to do the very thing that you said you would not do, and then basically say, if you want to work here, you will shut your mouth. You will not have an opinion. You will not express any disdain for the queen. The irony, because we are working for TPUSA, who is a company that is for free speech. The irony of working for a company that doesn't allow you to criticize them to criticize their leader, sick.
And then you attach that to what we showed you of a young woman who, like I said, on everything, she never leaked anything. She never spoke to me, nothing, gets fired. And for asking a simple question, like literally, why am I fired? We've been working like 25 hours, just get out. There's security there. That's it. We're moving a different direction. That is not okay. Okay, you're not allowed to say everybody grieves differently, so I don't have to answer any questions about that. And guys, we're going to bring in the beginning too, because I want you to watch the beginning of this so you can see the full thing, because we don't need to strip anything. Because she starts by laughing, which I find to be interesting. But I do want to let you know that we are having some buffering issues. We still have major blackouts in Nashville, so we're doing our best here. If you have some connectivity issues, just know that that's the reason why. Here's the beginning of that call.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, look at all the thumbs up. Look how cute that is. Sorry, it's just a little bit more informal than probably Charlie would be reacting. How sweet. I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry.
5 days after. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently.
Guys, I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is.
It's like, you know what's eerie to me, you guys? It's listen to, so when the words don't match the expression on the face, that to me is like, my brain can't do that. My brain cannot do that. Watch what she says.
I didn't know they could do that. I hate Zoom. I never like Zoom. Sorry, you guys. I just wanted to say first and foremost, my heart obviously is broken for you guys as much as it is for our family. You guys lost.
My heart's broken for you guys as much as it is for, like, what? There's not even a tear. There's just no sadness. It's just, I I'm like speechless, you guys. I'm speechless. And then for TPUSA to turn around and say everybody grieves differently, and you guys need to just listen to us. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about how TPUSA has changed since Charlie left. First and foremost, Ben Shapiro spoke at AmFest. That is not something that Charlie would have ever accepted. The people who were working at TPUSA know that. They know that. All of their spidey senses, so to speak, are going off because they're watching things happen internally that they know that Charlie would have never done. And Erika Kirk and Stacy Sheridan and company are saying, don't believe your experiences, believe what I'm telling you. Don't believe the past 10, 15 years of experience working at TPUSA, believe what I am telling you. Do not listen to that gut feeling that tells you something's not right, believe what I am telling you. Secondly, Erika Kirk goes on tour to news stations that hated Charlie Kirk, despised Charlie Kirk, and walks around saying Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. When it is very clear and obvious that Charlie was starting to say, hey, something's not right here. Something's not right here. Number 3, and no one has said this, and I will be the first person to say this. If I were Erika Kirk, and I knew that my husband went to the White House to fight with Donald Trump to stay out of Iran, and then Donald Trump put soldiers and positioned ships to start a war with Iran, I would be pissed. You couldn't stop me from going into that White House because she has permission to and saying, what in the world are you doing? You are dishonoring Charlie. And she has said not a dang thing about it. So TPUSA is complicit with world wars. Charlie was never complicit. TPUSA 2.0 is okay with that. TPUSA 2.0 loves metrics and numbers and money. Their bottom line is the dollar. That was not Charlie's bottom line. It is very apparent that Stacy Sheridan and Erika Kirk are working together so closely because they care about the money. They care that TPUSA, as they said out of their own mouths, will be so big it reaches Charlie in heaven monetarily. So they're sending out cease and desists, which Charlie would have never done. That's TPUSA 2.0. They're sending out cease and desists to people who speak poorly about TPUSA. Charlie would have never done that. People called him racist. They called him all kinds of abhorrent names, and Charlie never sent out a cease and desist. But Erika Kirk did. All while behind the scenes running around with Stacy Sheridan, making sure that you guys hit the metrics. You hit the numbers. You hit the donation goals. She has no soul. She has no heart. That's TPUSA 2.0. I'm shocked that she let Tucker Carlson on stage, to be honest. I'm shocked. TPUSA 2.0 is Erika Kirk going to Candace Owens, having a private conversation, and lying to her face. That's TPUSA 2.0. Anything to protect the company, anything to protect the image. TPUSA 2.0 is a disaster. And the only reason why it will continue to prop itself up is because it is doing so on the backs of donors who hate this country. And that's exactly what Charlie would have wanted to investigate. He wanted to investigate why is so much money coming in and we don't know where it's going. And TPUSA 2.0 under Erika Kirk says, we don't care where the money's coming from, just give me the money. And that's the difference. Enjoy your Friday, guys.